Okay, the first thing you need to do whenever you're working on anything is to go on ahead and get everything cleaned up as good as you can. Blow it off with air, take a little bit of window cleaner and just clean things up. It makes it so much easier for you to see, and you just working in grime is just not a good thing. Anyways, a lot of grime will fall off onto other parts that you don't want dirty, so clean things up first. So to get the rear caliper loose, we just have a 6mm Allen, and we'll break this thing loose. Okay, and we'll break this one loose. Okay, away we go. So we'll get these guys off. Really can't get a powered impact in, so we'll just screw these up. And they're fairly easy. And we need to replace the brake pads on this anyway, so we're going to do that while we're here. And that's a real simple operation. So the brake caliper is loose. I have a brand new set of EBC pads here, which EBCs are just fine. So what I do to change pads, the first thing you need to do is, the only way the pads are going to fit on is if you have room for them so the disc can fit in between them. Well, with the worn out pads, the brakes have been pushed together, and if you were to put the new pads in, you'll never get it back over the brake rotor. So the best thing to do, and it's very, very simple, is with the old pads inside, because this is what you're going to be pushing against, take a couple of screwdrivers and just push the pads back out. And it's ready at that point to take on the new brake pads. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is, there's a little tiny clip. If we can see, let's see if I can get it so you can see it. There's a little tiny clip right here that needs to go away, and you pull it out. Nothing fancy. Okay. There's a pin that gets pushed in. Okay. And what I did is I was pushing down on this spring a little bit, and this needs a little bit of cleaning. Here's our brake pads. Now, some pads have something on the back, and that's to stop any kind of weird vibration going on, and these pads are no exception. So these are all fairly clean inside already because I've been cleaning on things. So let's take a look at this pad. Let's see if this backing comes off. And I have to make sure this may not be a... Oh yeah, it comes off. I'm not sure what kind of pads these were. These may have been Brembo. I'll have to look. These might be Brembo pads. And then we'll go in and let's open up our other pads. And we'll put on our little plate. And this just goes like this and like that, and that's it. And now there's a little arrow that must be facing front. Okay. And same with this one, we just need to pry it loose a little bit. And let's get our other pad out. And it only seems to fit in one way. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this one in, and so this one's facing front, so that would be this one going like this. This one goes like this, Okay, so now what we need to do is there's a spring that goes in here. Well, what we're going to do first is clean this up a little bit. This pin is a little crusty, and it needs to be able to slide. And so what we're going to do is, I've got some brake grease over here. I'm going to put a small amount of brake grease on it. Basically, this is just some synthetic brake grease that you get at any of the auto parts stores. There's nothing too special, and we'll just kind of throw some on there. Very, very light coat so that things fit in there and the brake pads can slide. Okay. Now what needs to happen is this pin goes in this direction and it gets started through our pads, if you can see that. Whoop. Gets started through our pads, and the spring fits over the top, and the pads keep on falling out here, but that's okay. So what you need to do is push the spring down so that it catches the pin, and get the pad back in, and continue doing that. We need to push this down, and it comes on through, and pushing on that spring, it should push on through. Now we may have to tap it a little bit just to get it on through to the other side. Something a little heavier than that. Okay, tapped in. Okay, and then the clip goes back on. Find our clip. And there it is. And we'll push the clip on. And we are done. So now, get your pads into their position. Get them spread out and pushed up against the backing. And now, and the manual says that we need to torque the rear caliper to 20 foot-pounds. So we'll get it in place, get it started, and we will torque them down. And again, these pads need to be spread apart a little bit because they just need to sit where they need to. And there it goes. Okay. And they're sitting in place. And we'll do this by the Braille method. Maybe. Yep. There's one. And here's the other. Okay, so the caliper is in place. We'll get it screwed in. And we've got our torque wrench set for 20 foot-pounds. Okay. And use a 6mm Allen driver and put the on position, and here we go. And 20 foot-pounds.